Ron Guidry, Dave Righetti. I mean, I hated them. I hated them so much that when they went to other places, I hated them. I still hated them. The Yankees, the modern day, like I think Judge is a great player and a great guy. I root against him when they're red, but I can't hate him.
Because they haven't won anything.
That might be it too. That whole, the Red Sox winning the World Series might have forever changed the way I look at players. That's true too. I hadn't thought of that.
I did do a Fisk in my living room last night though. Judge's ball. I said that's going to go foul.
I would have loved to have seen you jumping around. So, definitely this week, I think, is the least active week we're going to have, right? We have the majority of teams are on
nothing.
bye.
Yeah.
So we have two sort of prominent games, if you will. Bacon Academy in New London on Saturday, mostly because every game people are waiting for Bacon to – I mean, that's going to be the case moving forward. Every game is going to be when the bubble breaks. And we'll talk a little bit about that game later on because I want to talk about it from a New London perspective. And then obviously our game, which we'll preview. So, all right, so we are at like the 1/3 point, basically, almost the halfway point, but the 1/3 point in the season. And talked last week about things coming into focus. I think after this week, starting next week, is when we'll start getting into the nitty-gritty because I think all the buys kind of wrap themselves up. And then next week is we got the championships coming up in the other sports, and then we'll hit the home stretch in football. From your top 15 perspective, any changes?
One really. Case. St. Joe's lost again, but I did not drop them down because they've lost 30-28 to Hand and 7-3 to New Canaan. I'm not gonna penalize you for going out and playing those teams. And I did move Fitch to number 15.
Okay.
Now, do I think they actually should be there? No, but I did it on spec case. I think Caden Simons Gaskin coming back or to play for them is going to make an explosive team all that much more. Like we saw Anthony Spader, Shad Stewart, and Cameron Lee Fry make. I haven't seen those kind of plays from Fitch in a long time. Plays the other night. I was like, this is it. This is something here.
Yeah.
Mike, do you feel like you have the duty to vote for ECC teams?
Sometimes, Pete. Yeah, I do because nobody else is. Like I'm itching to make Killingly number one, but I can't because that's not fair. I'm kind of waiting for New Canaan to lose. Sorry, in that league they might, but yeah.
So they're going to play Greenwich and Darien. All three of those teams are going to play each other.
Yes.
So at least two of them are not coming out of that undefeated.
Yes. Now, my guess is, Pete, if they lose to Greenwich, they'll make Greenwich number one.
Right.
And then you'd hope Greenwich would lose somewhere along the way, and then Killingly would be one at the end.
Don't you run the same risk, though, of, Greenwich beats New Canaan, Darien beats Greenwich, and then we just keep seeing whatever team wins vaulting Killingly because they're just never going to put Killingly ahead of whomever the team down there is?
I got to tell you, Case, one of the happiest moments of the year for me last year was to be able to vote St. Bernard number one finally when Tyler Manguel made that shot against Notre Dame to get them to number one. It's the first time, and I can't remember, probably since Chris Dunn days, I was able to vote an ECC team number one because they were.
Yeah, but the only the way that happened though was because Hillhouse knocks off Notre Dame, and even though Manguel's shot against Fairfield Prep got them. It was unlike here, where if Hillhouse had been ranked 3 and St. Bernard's had been 2, and Hillhouse they would have leapfrogged St. Bernard as well. So it's kind of like, I feel like that area of the state is going to consistently have the number 1 team. Daniel Hand might be even a better choice than Killingly as far as who's going to be able to break that stronghold. But.
I just wanted to finish the Fitch thought. This is all. I think they have 2 really hard games left: West Haven and Killingly.
Yes,
I think they're going to have to win one to secure a playoff spot. But this is also all based on stop with the holding, clipping, offside, false start. I mean, I was on the sideline Friday night, and Mike Ellis was, pulling out his hair. Just stop.
Yeah, there was a lot of frustration. Now that West Haven Fitch game is a potential game day game that is on the schedule as a potential game. I think if they both hold up their end, that's a game we'd love to do. KK is very exciting. I think not just on the offensive side. People again forget he was a weapon defensively. I happen to believe that he's a college. I still think he could be a college safety. I think his size, speed, and hands. I think he could play safety in college and be like a Kyle Hamilton, like a real defensive weapon at there. So I think he helps them on that side of the ball. But Fitch West Haven is going to be a real test for them because they can't play a game with as many mistakes as they have made. Now consider that they're playing their wing back at quarterback, and their best players got a broken leg, and the back they're still trying to overcome stuff that happened late in the preseason from them. So, but I'm with you on the Falcons. It was a very, very impressive win over East Lyme this week. The way they did it, I like them being in the top 15. Obviously, Killingly sitting there at 2 makes a lot of sense, and everybody else on that list. There's no. We didn't see them coming team too, by the way. Those are all. If there was a list of
brand names,
staples,
names.
these are the HBO primes of the.
I didn't drop. I dropped Staples to 10 because Darien beat them, but again, I'm not gonna penalize you for losing to a really good team.
Glad to see as a New London homer. Glad to see there's still New London representation in the top 15 at number 9, Vanilla Stratford, with a great band and an equally great football program. So statewide this week, a lot of teams are on byes, so we may not see the same shakeup. Certainly, I don't think we're going to see any shakeup from the ECC teams because they're on byes as well.
Don't you love it though, Case? I've written about this so many times. We have the mandated bye week, rest and recovery, but it's okay at the end of the year for Thanksgiving and then three playoff games for the kids to play 4 games in 17 days. That's fine.
They're big, strong kids, Mike.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
They said they were okay. They wanted it more than. It's all about them. Listen. You're gonna get me fired up. So let's move it into the ECC. We're going to talk about our game of the week on game day, which is the Waterford Lancers 3-1 at the Ledyard Colonels 3-1, which is the premier game of the week for the ECC shakeup for Division II as well. And then gonna close this with a quick little thought on some of the programs that are not in the power rankings this week. And then final question to you is going to involve off-season workout and conditioning programs for athletes. So let's start with Waterford at Ledyard. I've never come across a 3-1 team with more buzz in a negative way than Waterford. There seems to be a lot of talk, and I say that talk. I think the coach there is in a very difficult position. He's replacing one of the most popular coaches of all time, who is like the poster child for Waterford sports. Zeth Noldo was a Waterford kid. He was a Waterford athlete. He's from a Waterford family that are full of Waterford athletes. Like, he was their poster child for what you'd want. New guy coming in, tough spot. So you got to kind of let the parental complaints be noise and let the community complaints be noise because, as long as he keeps winning, I promise, a win Friday and the dysfunction goes way down again. But it is impossible to not say that for a 3-1 team, there's a lot of people not happy with just the state of things.
I've never asked this question in all the years that I've been here. What if the parents are right? What if they're right? I don't know if they are, but the people that I know that I'm talking to are very reasonable people here. They're not.
Well, usually when parents complain, it's about they don't like a level of blank, and it usually applies to their kid. And so quite frankly, I almost never listen to parents because the fact was if their kid was getting the ball 40 times, they wouldn't be complaining about anything. Right. So that being said, I'm hearing just, questions. It's, again, 3-1. A win this week goes a long way. It's pretty, there's growing pains. There's an adjustment period. But Waterford is going to – I've gotten more chirping at me from Waterford about not giving them their due. This week is the first chance. Peter keeps lobbying for the Speedo, but we do have it on record that if Waterford beats Ledyard this week, I will be the first Waterford person who presents me with any form of Waterford gear. I will be wearing it for next week's Power Rankings, and I will issue a public apology to the entire zip code.
Well, so what's the game within the game here? If Ledyard can't run you over, how do they move the ball?
So Ledyard's getting back a player that is a main running back for them. They have lost their main person who throws the football. So it would, on the surface of things, appear that they are even less likely to throw a ball than they had been in the past. For years, Waterford we always kept talking about the skill position players and the lack of line depth. This year, the line was supposed to be a strength, and I think defensively it has been overall, but still way too many puzzling results. Not lost on me in the 14-7 win over Plainfield, over Valley, is they only gave up the 7, right? So defensively, Waterford has been playing good football all year. So I think defensively there's a really good chance that they, stack it up and find a way to kind of limit Ledyard. If Ledyard moves them around the way they did move NFA around, this thing will be
ugly,
off the rails. It will be very bad. Because I do believe Ledyard, more than any team, has a desire to declare themselves as they want to be Killingly's first cousin. They want to be physical beyond physical.
But what Griswold did, walk the safeties into the box, middle of the field's wide open, and there's nothing that they could do about it. I guess we're going to see the same thing, or we should anyway.
Okay, so last year we saw that as well, and there was teams that couldn't do it. Everybody walked the safety up against them last year and couldn't stop them. So Griswold was able to. Talking with Ledyard insiders, they're still going to tell you that they gave that game away.
I was there. I disagree with that.
I get that. So they're going to say they gave that game away, and the Griswold people, rightly so, are going to say, no. We beat them. This is why I love, this is what I love about the game. Friday is Ledyard's opportunity to assert themselves as the Killingly's cousin, the physical team. Because Fitch is different,
yeah.
Right? So this is Ledyard saying we're going to do this as simple as possible. For Waterford, this is the chance to shut everybody up.
I think if Waterford gets this one, they can still afford another loss and still make the double S.
And they still have the Killingly game.
They still have Killingly, right.
So we will see. It's Live on game day this Friday night. Early start, by the way. All right, so this is a 6 o'clock start on Friday night. So
God bless Jim Bunicor.
We'll be, and that's, listen, if I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd have exactly $1. 5:45, we go on the air. There will be an extended halftime because they are doing their Hall of Fame ceremony at Ledyard. So the 3 pounds of pasta this Friday will have a little extra wiggle room to go. I have been on my game over the past few weeks on the 3 pounds of pasta, baffling and befuddling Peter and Pasta. Now, you knew the answer to the two Super Bowl, the two Hall.
My headphones cut out last week because I forgot to put a new battery in.
I'll do it really quickly then.
Yeah.
What Fitch High School graduate has a World Series ring?
Paul Menhart.
That is correct. And if the Phillies had done their job and won this year, what East Line graduate would have a World Series?
Yeah,
ring?
Todd Donovan.
Yeah. I mean, this is why you're you. But I'd be.
Can we get a hint as to what we're going to talk about Friday, or we want to keep that a secret?
No, we can absolutely get a hint. So we already did Waterford game this year, and we did the whole park. We did the whole Parkers. We have not done a Ledyard game this year. They are the Colonels. And it is also October. Colonels lead to popcorn.
Candy corn.
You know, Peter, candy corn, which is basically a cruel joke on children. That's what candy corn is. We are going to talk about popcorn related. There's going to be a popcorn related question. There's also going to be a question involving something Waterford related, which I'm not willing to share just yet. And then at the end, the 3rd pound of pasta is going to be another trivia question regarding the two programs, regarding Waterford and Ledyard.
Can I suggest a bonus?
Of course.
Pasta will probably love this. Who are the most famous? What colonels come to mind when you think of a colonel?
Mustard.
Potter.
Sherman.
Right? Sherman T. Potter.
Colonel Mustard for me.
Yeah.
Very good. That you know what? We're going to stop right there because that might work its way into the mix. So all right, so I want to talk really quickly about 3 programs that are not in the power rankings, and I want to give them emojis sort of in the moment, and that's New London, Wyndham, and Montville, because I think each program is in a very different place. But they're all in the same place, which is they're struggling right now. I think Wyndham, if I were to give them the emoji, it would be the resilience emoji. It would be the stand tough emoji, because I think they're an example of the cyclical nature of small schools. I love Wyndham's attitude, which is you'll never hear a complaint coming out of them. They won't say we only have 18 kids. They won't say everybody's hurt. They're just gonna. You're playing for Wyndham football, and the expectation is we're gonna win. I love that about them. I love that program so much. I want them to succeed. They are right now the inevitable result of a couple of state runs.
Yep.
They bump up a division. They don't, and they just can't. And now they're in a down cycle. So the resilience, stay true there in Wyndham, because I do believe better days are ahead.
Nobody has done more with less than they. Nobody. And so I don't expect this to last very long.
On the other side, we've got the Montville Wolves. Now, this is a program that has been down for a few years now, off of a lot of success they had been a very successful team for a number of years. I mean, going back to the 80s, right? They've got many state championship finals, all the way into the 2000s. I talked with the great Tyler Gerard Floyd yesterday, and that his team was one of the best teams in Montville history. A lot of success there. I think Montville might be in one of those difficult places. We talk about if you can't win a championship, you might as well finish last so you can get in professional sports, you can get a draft pick. I think Montville might be in one of those precarious places where they're good at a lot of sports. Soccer's pretty good. The volleyball's pretty good. Lacrosse is pretty good. Like, they're all kind of good. And I think the football team might be facing a little bit of that middle. They're not a big school, and the athletes are spread across sports. Whereas you look at the Killingleys and the we talked about Ansonias and maybe even the Wyndhams, where like in the fall, like we want kids to go out. There's a certain group that goes out for football. I think Montville might be in that really dangerous place where there's just not enough athletes heading to the football field for them to be successful, because he didn't suddenly forget how to coach, and I think that so I think they're in a precarious place right now. I'd love to see the Wolves get some success because I have a lot of people in that town that I care about. But right now, I think Montville's in kind of an interesting spot that way.
If I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, you had said to me, give me the 5 programs in the ECC that are never going to have a stretch of 1-9, 2-8, 1-9, 2-8. Montville would have been in the. I would have said that.
Yeah.
As long as I have been here, they've been good, and I don't really understand what's going on.
I'm willing to go cyclical there too. Maybe this is a 4-year down cycle, but you look at the other teams we cover. The baseball team is a perennial success. The basketball team feels like it's on the way up with Joe Sear. It feels like it's in a good spot.
Great young coach.
So we'll see what happens there with Montville. And then the third one is interesting because it's the anti-Waterford, and that's New London. And what I mean by that is, I am seeing more positivity coming out of New London than I am accustomed to seeing. Normally, 8-1, and you're getting yelled and screamed at because you're not doing enough. The community seems to understand that this team is in a full rebuild right now. With the coaching changes, a roster turnover, transfers, our guy Mello, at quarterback. And listen, I mean, that is an impossible spot. These young men are working. And we joked that, like, last year it felt like every grade 8 play happened against Bacon Academy. It feels like every grade 8 play is happening against New London. And that can be pretty defeating. But I'm not getting that vibe at all. I am getting positivity. I am getting, watch out. I'm hearing the coach say, no excuses. He's saying, we got to be better. We're going to be better. The community, Rel Green is just a rock star in the youth football world, and that's going to get better. I don't know that I've ever been positive about a New London team that's struggling, but I feel like the community for the first time is kind of giving them some grace.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Listen, of all the teams and all the sports that we cover here, New London football is the Yankees. They are. And I really look forward to the day when they're back to, I got here in 1991 and I covered back-to-back state championship wins.
Yeah, and you just missed out on the greatest player I ever saw.
Yeah, right. But they were good. They were good and good and good. They've never not been.
Yeah.
And I really look forward to the days where we're there on a Friday night for a big game.
Let's not forget they were in the state playoffs last year, the year before.
Yeah, last year.
And they've been good. But this feels like a complete rebuild. That being said, Mello. I'm only going to refer to him as Freak because it's the greatest nickname in the world. Mello and Freak are the future, and the youth program, from what I'm hearing, has a ton of great players. They're building. I kind of feel like, and this might be the New London in me talking, and if it is, okay. I kind of feel like there's a list right now that they're making.
Yeah,
going,
I hope
we'll see. We'll see again. And so, I have a feeling that this team is on the right direction.
I'm not supposed to do this, but I did it, and I remember that this night vividly because you guys after the game threw me a surprise 50th, right?
Yeah.
And but the New London beat Killingley on the last play.
Yeah.
Long touchdown pass.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I did it, but I watched the game again. Do you remember who caught the pass? I can't remember. Pete,
Peter's
do you
more likely
remember
to remember than
who
me.
Caught the pass? I don't remember who caught the pass, but it was kind of a surprise.
Yes.
Yeah. And I happened to be looking at myself on the sideline like this, and I was like, "Ooh, You can't do that anymore. But that's case. I'm not from here, but that program is here.
Yeah. I mean, nothing but love for my Whalers, and they're taking their lumps, but I really do believe they're on the right track. So last point before we go is we have this kind of interesting a lot of former ECC athletes, and this is something I definitely think we need to talk more about moving forward. We've got a ton of former ECC, and we'll count Old Lyme in there as well. Former area athletes who have opened up performance and training centers, personal training, performance training, athletes training. I mean, I can count maybe 7 or 8 athletes. They're all over the place. And yet we seem to continue to talk about how do we get our kids down, especially in football, like the rest of the state has these facilities. And we talked about Killingly has the barn. So we're going to tease this a little now, but this is a topic we're going to get into, which is this is the question I want people to talk about and debate. What should the relationship be between a performance place, a personal training, performance athletic place, and the high school team? Should there be a cooperative, a collaboration? Should it remain completely private? Should there be a tie-in? Should football coaches be looking to go to one of these local places and say, I want to get my team in there and let's get the off season through you? I'm interested in what the people out there think. What's the right move for strength and conditioning from a high school football perspective with these local possibilities?
Yeah, Case. I mean, Killingly aside, ECC teams get pushed around by schools throughout the state, physically pushed around. And how many guys are there that have these gyms, nice gyms
yes.
too. And if I'm a coach, I go, hey, run my off-season program. We'll figure out the money. Run it, because clearly what we're doing is not working.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to name them right now because I don't want to leave anybody out, but I can think of an Old Lyme graduate, 2 East Lyme graduates, a Fitch graduate, 2 Fitch graduates, a East Lyme graduate, and a Montville graduate, and a Waterford graduate, all of whom are the owners and operators of personal training, fitness training, performance centers in the immediate area. Waterford, Groton, East Lyme, New London, like that's a lot. That means that covers everything. There's one near you.
You got me going now. This is great.
So we're going to talk more about that. That's going to be a teaser. But Friday night, live from Ledyard High School, the Waterford Lancers and the Ledyard Colonels, live on game day, with an opportunity to put themselves in the conversation for Mike's top 15 in the state, and certainly shake up the power rankings that I'll be bringing you next week, as always. Want to hear from you. What do we do right? What do we do wrong? What are your thoughts? Where do these performance centers fit into our future of football? What programs are on the rise? What programs are in trouble? Bring it all to us on all of our social media. We love the dialogue, always.